Ghana dine dine. This is the voice of the Patriot, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, it will only come on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. Here we are not neutral, we have taken sides, the side of the truth. That is why we are affectionately called the headquarters of the truth. And this is our daily editorial. My brother, my sister, today we have a number of issues to look at, and I need you to come along. Remember, here we speak truth to power. No two ways about them thing, man. Now, the very first story I'm looking at today is taken from Ghana Web. And it says, Kwesi Pratt defends school hairstyle rules, warns against absurd freedom in appearance. And I read, now veteran journalist and managing editor of the Inside newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr., has thrown his support behind the enforcement of grooming and uniform regulations in schools, stressing that they are vital for maintaining discipline and enhancing learning. Now, speaking on Metro TV's Good Morning Ghana on October 29, 2025, that's yesterday, Pratt argued that appearance rules should not be dismissed as irrelevant to education. Everywhere, in every community, there's a certain degree of uniformity. That is what identifies the community. That is what identifies order. He criticized those who claim that hairstyles have no bearing on academic performance. Tomorrow morning, someone can say the type of shoe you wear has nothing to do with catching a thief. So policemen can go to work barefoot. We can drag this to the level of absurdity. That's what is happening in this case. Hairstyle has a lot to do with learning. Pratt noted that many people commenting on the issue fail to appreciate the realities of life in boarding schools. Now, drawing on his own experience, he said he entered boarding school at the age of 11 and spent most of his educational years there. Some of the students came to school on the first day of the term and do not go home until the very last day because they cannot afford transportation. They never get visitors through the 3 months they stay on campus. There have even been instances where teachers had to contribute money to help children go home at the end of the term. He also questioned suggesting that schools should permit hairdressers to come on campus to attend to students' hair. Are these the kind of students who can afford that? Pratt's remarks come amid renewed public debates over whether students, particularly in mission and government-assisted schools, whether they should be allowed to keep long hair. I hate it when I have to disagree with a very big mentor of mine like Kwesi Pratt. Now, Kwesi Pratt is talking about hair, how it has no bearing, or better still, it has a lot of bearing to learning. And he disagrees with those who say hair has no bearing when it comes to learning in the schools. He equates long hair to some absurdity when people would finally come up and say that the shoes too have no bearing to any learning. And for that matter, they would like to walk barefoot or chase thieves barefoot and all that. Now the debate lingers on. This is what I have to say. It is so ridiculous that we all want our children to go to school in schools that are top class. We are happy to have our children school in the Harvards, the big schools in America, England, and the rest of the world. My brother, my sister, if we truly like these schools and like their standards, let's look at how students pass to go to those schools in America and what their appearance is like. School children in America, are they forced to go to school with short hair? Do they make it to the Harvards or not? Do they make it to the Yale universities or not? My brother, my sister, it's about time we began to understand the spirituality of hair. It's about time we got to understand the science of hair. If you don't believe in the spirit, forget about it. Now let's deal with the science of the hair. The hair contains a lot of melanin. It has been proven with time that melanin is very essential when it comes to absorbing things, remembering things, and at the same time facilitating the imbibement of information. My brother, my sister, your hair is almost like an antenna connecting you to the atmosphere and beyond. The hair is not ordinary. There's a lot of science about the hair. If you don't know anything at all, can I just give you this simple thought and fact? The hair prevents your scalp and your brain from the vagaries of the weather. We are not talking about wig here. We are talking about natural hair. What has natural hair got to do with artificial shoes? You go to the market to buy an artificial shoe. You are not born with a shoe. You acquire it in order to protect your feet and to do some other side jobs. But naturally, you are given hair. The hair was so important that it was mentioned in the Bible, in the vow of the Nazarite. Why the hair and not the fingernails? Why do you wear clothes at all? To protect yourself from the vagaries of the weather. The hair has a reason for being on your head. Have we tried to find out why the hair is growing on the head? Why do we have hair around our noses that we call the mustache? Why do we have beards around our chin? How about the armpits? And how about down below? Is it for fun? There's a reason, my brother. So when a big mentor of mine like Kwesi Pratt speaks, I have to be very careful the way I approach it, especially when I disagree. The hair is not a cartoon character. The hair is not a caricature. That is why in spirituality, hair is seen as glory. When you have a dream that somebody is cutting your hair, anyone who understands dream language tells you that you are about to go through this grace. This grace. And when you dream that your hair has grown so much into a big afro, anyone who understands dream language will tell you that some big glory, some grace is about to befall you. So the hair is not ordinary. When I hear people argue as if their hair was just like a shoe, I am befuddled. We are not talking about chemicalizing your hair and making it look so long. We are talking about natural hair. My brother, the hair contributes to the ideals of memory. When people are growing old under normal circumstances and their hair starts becoming white, they start losing melanin, the pigment that is responsible for the color of your skin, the black color of your hair. They start losing it. So the hair starts becoming white. A lot of such people start losing their memories. Hallelujah. Blakk Rasta teach. It's not by chance that an old man who was all grayed begins to forget whether he has taken his bath or not. He's losing a lot of the memory that was protected by his hair in its gloom. Somebody would ask me, how about bald-headed people? They still have the melanin in one way or the other somewhere else. You don't get bald for nothing. There's a reason. My brother, my sister, the science of the hair is deeper than just going to the barber and cutting your hair. That's why we sang, Rasta man don't go in a barber shop. Rasta man can't sit in a barber chair. Too much combi and trim me. Shavy and kote. Banga langa banga and bogo yaga. Carry go and bring come. Too much watchy no natty. Koki no kali. Some people thought we were just alliterating. Rasta man cannot go to the barber shop, let alone sit in the barber chair, because there's too much shaving, too much combing, too much trimming, too much cutting. Think about it, my brother. Anyone who tries to compare the naturalness of the hair to the artificial nature of the shoe is not being fair to us as people with long hair. Why? Minister comes to say, if we allow them to wear any hair, tomorrow they'll be coming with long shoes. What warped logic? Is that how you can demean the hair to the level of the shoe? Who taught you that? That is so demeaning. The hair is both spiritual, scientific, and physical. My brother, my sister, the hair protects your scalp. I tell you something. Bob Marley was attacked in Jamaica. They shot at him several times. Luckily, the bullet just grazed his arm and drew out a lot of blood. The gunmen, on their way out, saw Rita Marley and wanted to silence her. You know what they did? They pointed the gun to her head and pulled the trigger. Puyaka. And when she fell, they smiled and said she had died. She herself, in her book, No Woman, No Cry, said that she thought she was dead until she heard people talking around. When she opened her eyes, she couldn't believe she was alive. The doctor checked her head and realized that the bullet had been blocked from touching her head and splitting her skull into two. because of her matted hair. You can call it afro hair, you can call it rasta hair, mpese, whatever you want to call it, but that is natural hair. Some people say, oh, but it's not about rasta. Rasta, there we understand. You even used not to understand what rasta was. You chased the Achimota boys out of Achimota till we forced you to accept them. Today you understand rasta. We will make sure you understand natural hair too. This is what they do. And at the end of the day, when the girls come out of school, everybody wants to look artificial. So my big question to the minister is this. Honorable Aruna, so when the school children start going for BBL, would you accept them or not? BBL, grow their buttocks, grow their breasts. Would you have another law to ban that? Would you tell headmasters to send those ones out? If the hair is a problem, I wonder what you say about BBL, which has become the in thing. And some people argue so vaguely when they say, those little girls, they are running after married men. If we allow them to wear their hair, they will look older, and then they will pass for big girls and the married men, and some of the teachers will sleep with them. Oh, Jesus. You blame Delilah for Samson's stupidity? Samson had no common sense when he had been told the secret to his strength, and he easily gave it out like that. You blame Delilah and call her a traitor for Samson's stupidity. If you have a married man who is low moral, a married man who has no respect for his wife and himself, a teacher who has no respect for his profession and does not even understand what it means to be a teacher, and goes after little girls in the school, taking advantage of them, please, for God's sake, don't blame the hair of the ladies, the young girls there. In American schools, Japanese schools, Indian schools, you will be hanged if you told an Indian girl to go and cut her long hair in order to fit into a secondary school. You will be skinned alive if you did go to Saudi Arabia to tell a young girl going to secondary school to go and cut her hair to fit into the curriculum because of discipline. How? How? Have we studied the science of the hair? Do we know what the hair does for us and to us? Oh, Jesus. Do we know the psychological effect of taking down the hair? A lot of people can easily cut their fingernails, change their shoots, but when it comes to cutting their hair, it's a major decision. Major decision. I know some of my Rasta friends back in school who were forced by families to shave their hair. Some of them have gone crazy. Psychological trauma. Some have been so disorientated from that time till now. Only God can bring them back. Don't let us joke with the spirituality of the hair and even the science of the hair. So to Mr. Pratt, yes, we want discipline in the schools, but again, long hair for me is too natural to be manipulated in the echelons of discipline. If you have long hair, just manage it. Keep it clean. It's the duty of the senior housemaster to come around for inspection. In my days, we're doing inspection. They will check your fingernails. If you had bad fingernails, they will use a ruler to give you some caning on the fingernails, or ask you to go and farm. They will let you open your mouth. Let them see if you have clean teeth or not. These days, do they do that in the schools? You will open your mouth. The senior house master or house mistress will bring the nose closer to your mouth to find out if it smells good or bad. Then they will ask you, what toothpaste do you use? See me in my office after. Sometimes your parents will be called in to say that, listen, your son needs to see a dentist. That is inspection. They will look at your hair. Does it have lice in the hair? Does it have lice? If yes, how can you get rid of the lice? Do they have to spray it and get it out? Or do you have to bring down the hair? This is for medical reasons. Lice in the hair is not for fun. Medical reasons, they might shave you. Or you have some ringworm in the hair. Medical reasons, it will be shaved. But to say discipline, people's hair must be shaved. And I see a lot of people debating this. It is good the nation is debating it. We will reach there. How did America reach there? You go to American schools and they go there. They only manage their hair. Anyone who cuts his hair is their own choice. I agree that some haircuts may be offensive. That I agree. Some kind of funny haircut that is supposed to draw unnecessary attention. And even with that, it is you as a human being who likes it. Then there's not much that can be done. That's human rights. This is not the army. It is not the police, where they say long hair will make you an easy target for enemies. When you are running and they are not able to catch you, your hair there, they can quickly catch you and pull you back. Like in the days of Absalom, when his head got caught through the hair in the trees. Please, don't let us victimize people who cherish their hair for so many different reasons. Aesthetic reasons, religious reasons, spiritual reasons, and so on and so forth. I leave it here. Now the next thing I want to look at is also coming from Ghana Web, and it says, I won't return to parliament if anti-gay bill isn't passed. And this man is called Emmanuel Bejra. Now the member of parliament for Ho West, Emmanuel Kwesi Bejra, has said he will not return to parliament if the proper human sexual rights and family values bill is not passed and assented to before the next election. Now, speaking on Joy News PM Express on October 29, 2025, the MP said his position is driven by moral conviction, not political ambition. I like that. If it's not assented to, I will not come back to parliament. This is a live studio, and I am saying it. I have even told my colleagues and everybody that if it's not passed and assented to, I will not come back. What do I come to do? If I don't have a moral principle to my generations unborn, then what am I doing? He said. Bejra described his support for the controversial legislation which seeks to criminalize LGBTQ plus activities and promote what its sponsors call proper human sexual rights and family values as central to his public service. That is my whole life. We must defend our principles. Some of us are in parliament not just for politics, but for the moral and social advancement of the country. He indicated. Now the Whole West MP, one of the bill's 8 sponsors, also accused the minority leader, Alexander Kwamina Afenyo-Markin, of being untruthful about past efforts to amend the bill. He has never come to us as sponsors to propose any amendment or even hold discussions on it. I'm surprised that the same person now stands in parliament advocating for the bill. What kind of double tongue is this? He said. I applaud this MP for one reason, that he will stand by his principles And if he cannot defend his principles, he will not return to the parliament. Principle. Let's forget about exactly what that principle is. If all MPs in parliament can say this, that they will stand against corruption, without which they will never return to parliament, the Ghana parliament would be like heaven. And the Speaker of Parliament will be God. MPs are so corrupt. And that's not me talking. We have had instances where businessmen went to the Parliament House attempting to bribe MPs. We know how MPs, my brother, my sister, retain their seats. Not only in Ghana, all over Africa. They pay huge sums of money. Where is the money from? Which MP has ever campaigned without spending millions and he won? Let's be truthful to ourselves. Kennedy Japan, a sitting MP at the time, said Parliament had become so cheap and corrupt that any Tom, Dick, and Harry could be a parliamentarian. Many criticized him. Ayariga told us, my brother, my sister, about how some kind of bribery took place in Parliament. Blakk said something close to that. My brother, my sister, I don't remember the exact words. But my brother, my sister, time and again, we hear how minority, majority even play with each other along the lines of bribery in order to pass certain bills, in order to get some people vetted and unvetted. Unvettedly vetted. You know what that means? My brother, my sister, this man says, until the anti-gay bill is passed and assented to, he will never return to Parliament. Can we all vow against corruption and stand by that? As for the gay bill, Bejra, Honorable Bejra, I am excited that this thing has become a subject of debate. We like to beg too much. We are a nation that is so blessed, yet so accursed. You know why? We have all the gold and diamond, yet we are poor. We go around begging gays and lesbians to give us food to eat. Let us not treat symptoms. Let us go for the root cause of the problem until we become economically independent. This gay bill and whatever bill you're talking about, forget it. Your president wants to win the next election for his party. He wants the economy to boom. That is why Galamsey is treated with kids' gloves. Your president wants to make the economy good instead of working very hard to deal with some of the ills of the society and stand on a good footing of restoring the economy. No, we want to hit the land, get the gold out of it. And then after getting the money, we go back and try to restore what we have damaged. I don't know which kind of people think like that. Finally, my brother, my sister, until we stop going to these people to eat from their kitchen, the crumbs from off their tables, there's no day we will be able to say we don't want what they are giving to us in terms of this LGBTQI+. Are you ready to be economically independent? Are you ready? If you are not ready, then forget it. Why didn't Nanado sign it? You think he likes LGBTQI+? No, he doesn't like it. Left to him alone, he will sign that thing 6 million times. But the lazy government that he had, that will not be ready to work hard and put the economy on the right footing, he cowardly ran away from it. Human rights lawyer who would sit down and watch children die at Fana and nothing happens. Election, people are shot and killed. Record of human rights in the country, not so good. Yet this is a human rights lawyer. Our citizenry get killed every now and then in North America and nothing happens. Where is the human rights? Gambia, Lampedusa, Algeria, Morocco, we get our citizens killed every now and then. What do? Nothing. Where is the human right? So, Honorable Betra, yes, we may sign it, but let us be ready for a sharp rebuttal from the West. They will come attacking our economy. They will call us homophobic. Words that they can never use on Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia is independent economically. And they are looking forward to doing business with Saudi Arabia. So they will not go offending Saudi Arabia. Trump can stoop so low and support the killing of a Saudi citizen, all because of business. Do we all remember? I leave it here.